Man, I had started singing, and I hadn't even hit the broadcast thing. We're not live yet. But I want everybody to catch everything. This is Breathe Again. We're here every Thursday, helping each other to breathe into the future with expectancy. And our brother and sister to do the same thing. We want to thank y'all for joining us this evening. Hello, Angela. You know, I was going so fast, I just want to take a roll call. So if you put your name or something in the comments, Miss Malvo, thank you for tuning in. You doing okay? El Rico. Nelly Sue, what's going on? Wife, what's happening? You doing good? Hey, Miss Joyce. Hey, Miss Tanya. Yeah, I was rushing a little bit. It's good to say hello to everybody. Hey, Rhonda. Tabitha. Thank you. I appreciate you loving the music. Hey, Miss Doreen. Hey, Miss Sharon. Thank you for coming through. Talia, the Songbird Huntley. Name like that, somebody, she's singing somewhere. We appreciate you. Stan, what's up, man? Stan Jones. Bro, I'm about to sing this thing again. Greta Robinson Allen. What's going on? Gail Moss Carson. Hello. Tenia Brown. Thank y'all for joining us for Breathe Again. Ann Sims Spidell. JoJo, I know you haven't said anything yet, but shout out to you, JoJo. Good to see you. Joanne Hamilton. Hey. Y'all, I'm going to get started and sing this song. We did it a little earlier in the week in honor of the passing of Bishop Rance Allen, who sang all over the world about how awesome our God is. But I want to do it again tonight in honor of our very special guest because I know she digs this song. B, what's up? Chi-Town. Kay McClendon, hey. Let me jump on in and see if we can get this right. Let's go. God who is present, looking beyond our faults and seeing our needs. God like that. We'll meet you at the point of your path. Show some sign in the chat box. Type of hand. Cause one voice can't praise him enough. No one man can tell the story. He's too awesome. He's too amazing. And his grace is so great. and his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures through all generations. His truth endures forever. Thank you, Lord. He's an awesome God. He's God, and he's Lord of Lords. He's the great I am. He can do all things. He created all. New life he brings. He gives me great grace. And when I feel alone, I can hear him calling me. He says, just hold on. Joy will come. You be strong, church. Don't give up. Just hold on. Joy is coming. God is coming. Even if you feel defeated, even when you get discouraged, if you feel like crying, go ahead. Just hold on. The Lord, my God, is an awesome. He's an awesome God. He's an awesome God. Man, that's what's up. If you know he's awesome, just type hallelujah or something in the chat for me. I don't know about you, but it feels good to know that we serve an awesome God that's present and keeps us, that we don't have to put on airs for. He's just down. You know what I'm saying? Was down before we even knew he was down. A friend to the friendless. Hope to the hopeless. Oh, I don't know why I got this in my spirit. I just feel like we need to say it. So we keep our heads up and help our brothers and sisters do the same thing. I want to rush on, but I feel like I got to give y'all some space to say it too, because I know you got a story too, just about how awesome our God is. And that's how we get over. We keep sharing these stories about how God showed up. Somebody said, Miss Greta said he was faithful in all his ways. Yes, indeed. I believe that. I know it's true. I know it's true. Hallelujah. And that's it right there. That's it. Okay. I think we have been sufficiently churchy here to get started. So I want to introduce our guest coming on tonight. Again, she's the reason why we did that song. I know she loves that song. That's how we kind of connected around that song. She's a co-founder and chief brand officer of Brown Girl Jane. She's named one of the 50 most influential people in the multicultural market by WWD. I can't wait to find out what that is. Tai is an award-winning producer, TV host, brand consultant known most for her expertise in marketing to women. Formerly an editor to Harper's Bazaar, the Oprah magazine, and 17 magazines, Ms. Beauchamp departed publishing in the earliest days of social media to leverage her vast audience platform to empower, educate, and entertain women of all ages. Tai has become a go-to thought leader for platforms like ABC, NBC, BET, TV One, The Wendy Williams Show, The View, The Chew, and The Tamron Hall Show. She's hosted her own shows on TLC, Clio TV, and GSN, as well as worked with Fortune 500 companies and impact organizations like AdColor, CoverGirl, Essence, Ford, GM, Hilton, InStyle. We are in Hilton right now. InStyle, Lexus, McDonald's, Procter & Gamble, Sundial Brands, Prudential, Target, Walmart, and the Wing. Currently living in Los Angeles, Tai is a New Jersey native and proud Spelman College alum. And we have lost her in the feed. I set this cold introduction up, and I'm just about to bring her in, and something's going on with her feed. Let me text her and see what's happening. And can I tell y'all, man, this is how my whole week has been. But God is still good. God is still awesome. We still here. Oh my goodness. So she just said her Wi-Fi went out and she's coming back on. What to do? What to do? I think we should sing another song. What do you think? Let me see if I can pick one. I haven't heard in a minute.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Back now, okay. Because I was going through these songs. I was about to do it too.
No, Brian. Brian, let me just tell you, like, honestly, that song just ministers to me so much. And when I posted about joining you today for Breathe Again, I actually noted it's my alarm clock. So it's set to wake me up at 6 a.m. and 6:30 in the morning. And that's what I wake up to. So that song was ministering to me so much that the internet went out. We broke the internet, Brian. That's what happened. The internet went out.
God will take out your internet if you need to. I'm not sure why he did it there.
You know.
We'll figure it out.
Hey, but I'm happy to be here with you.
Did you hear my excellent introduction? Did you hear the whole thing?
I heard pieces of it, but it doesn't even matter because I'm just grateful to be here with you. So thank you so much. Is my connection good now? Are we good?
Yes, we're good. We're real good. We're real good. It's good to see your face. Good to have you on. I know a lot of women were excited that you were coming on too, and I'm honored that you're taking the time to do so, because that's I think that what you're doing is really what this is about, and that's empowerment. That's keeping people's heads lifted. Starting with the person in the mirror, to be honest, being able to look at yourself and just say, hey, man, I got enough to keep going. I got enough to keep manifesting in the earth how awesome this God is, because I'm the proof. I'm here, made and created.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
We jump into what you want to talk about. Why do you? My wife.
Listen, I'm an open book, Brian. So I know there might be an outline that JoJo has worked with my team to kind of craft. But I'm a big believer. I think when we empower, inspire, and seek to motivate, people, and as we're called to do, and we're all called to do in our own way, we have to speak from the heart. So you can stick to your script if you want, but we don't have to be on script. I'm good with whatever.
We don't have a script. For it. So, but this is what I wanted to ask you. Why do you like Awesome God so much?
Well, first and foremost, if I know how awesome God is. And so the song is just a reminder of God's amazingness. But the words, the way that you deliver them, I hike to that because, I'm a hiker. So living in LA, and a lot of people hike to their trap music, and that's all good. I mean, I like it all, but like I hike to my gospel sounds, and it's a reminder for me to just kind of pause and be still and recognize that God's awesomeness and amazingness transcends anything that we might be dealing with or going through at any given moment. And, in transparency, the last 3 years were not easy for me. And, we had corresponded, and I was like, look, I'm pushing through. And it was the song is just such an amazing motivator and inspiration to me, which is why I set it as my alarm to wake up to it in the morning, because no matter how you went to sleep, no matter what the struggles of the previous day may have been, no matter what, you felt, what you dealt with, if you're waking up the next morning and you're able to hear that, it's a reminder that God is awesome, and it's a reminder for me to be in that space. So I don't know. I could go on and on about awesome God. I could go on and on about believe. I could go on and on about great work. I could go on and on about still. I'm into all of them, Brian.
Like, how did you find it? How did you find the awesome guy?
I mean, I think, well, we first met down at Essence Fest, right? At the Walmart stage, like many, many years ago, when I was hosting the Walmart stage when COVID wasn't happening. Um, And after I met you, and then we also, Tasha Smith, who's one of my close friends, loves and adores you. And actually, it may have been Tasha who was playing your music the first time many years ago, that I was introduced to you. And then after that, it was just like, all right, download, buy everything, just buy everything, all the catalogs, just buy it. So yeah.
And we met on a lark. Man, I was at a conference and I was singing for, it was a Mega Fest. And I had never met TD Jakes or anything like that, but I happened to get off the stage. He wasn't even in the room, but he was coming in, and I just thanked him for having me. He didn't know who I was or anything. He was just like, "Hey man, you want to go to lunch?" And he put me in this black van, and it was like three or four, a caravan of black vans, and we end up to lunch, and I'm sitting next to Tasha, and she runs into me and she says, "Hey, your song already here really got me through a season. I think, are you frozen?" Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. I think she's frozen. Well, y'all got to hear that story. That's how I met Tasha Smith, who apparently knows Ty, who I'm sure is working on the internet right now, because apparently our awesome God will shut down your internet. She's coming back. She said she's coming back. That's awesome. This is that smile of, hey, this is going to be all right. There she goes. All right, let's bring her back. We all good.
I am so sorry, Brian.
It's okay, because I'm actually was suffering and worried about the same thing, because I'm in this hotel, and so I wasn't sure if the Wi-Fi was going to keep up. So I certainly have grace, but thank you for spending
Thank
time.
you for your
And
grace. Thank you.
I was telling them about Tasha, and that's how we met. Like, just on a whim, we were at lunch somewhere, and she saw me and recognized me because she loved this song already here, and she was going through something.
Mm,
That song really got her through. And it makes me think about just how these little things happen, and you share little things, and they turn into other things, and then it just builds and swells. And we all have the opportunity to share good things like that, which led to this conversation tonight.
this moment. This moment. And I remember when I met you down at Essence Fest, Tasha and I were together at the time. And, Tasha and I have been friends probably for 14, no, 15 or so years, for a very long time. And quite frankly, I used to stay at her house a lot when I was going to LA and hadn't moved to LA. So I was like staying there. And so I would hear, and I was like, who is this? Oh my goodness. And we blast gospel all day. Um, but the fact that she shared your music, and that moment, just like, of connectedness, through song. But you're talented, Brian. And as I said, you are a source of inspiration for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Guys, this is Breathe Again. We're talking to my good friend, Tai Beauchamp. And I've been asked to use the other mic. Let's see if we can get this to work the right way, because I want to get the sound right. Because I know you're about to say some magnificent things. Is that a little better from my team?
That's better, much better. Yeah.
Better? Okay.
We
Nice.
we
All right.
gonna we gonna tell technology is trying to get the best of us today, but we're not having it.
Let's do this. Tell me about Brown Girl Jane. What
Yeah,
is
let
that?
me tell you about. Yeah, so Brown Girl Jane is my is a plant-based wellness company that I founded with two of my Spellman sisters, Nia and Malika Jones. And we started this company to really support women of color and Black women on their journey to wholeness. So it's a CBD company. We have 5 pieces in our collection. We have an amazing balanced tincture that I take every single morning after I listen to awesome God. And we have a rest tincture. We have a body butter. We're coming out with candles very soon. But we are a wellness company that is focused on supporting Black women and brown women on their journey to wholeness and wellness. Because I'm a former beauty editor. I don't know if you knew that, but I started my career as a magazine editor 20 years ago. And wellness and the idea of being well and whole wasn't something that was accessible to Black and brown women. And I've always loved the idea of inner outer beauty. And so when Malika and Nia shared the power of CBD, now it doesn't get you high. There's no
I was going to
tip. I knew where you were going. I
ask.
knew where you're going. I know. So
You're
no,
not judging.
no, and no judgment. But so that's the other thing that's so interesting because of the overcriminalization of Black and brown bodies around cannabis. As a community, especially our generation, right? We came up with the say no to everything. So it's like I don't do nothing. We weren't really educated about the benefits of the plant. And so there are parts of the plant that have psychoactive properties. That's THC, CBD, and the CBs that work with your endocannabinoid system, and they don't affect anything outside of what's happening inside your body, and there's no psychoactivity. And we wanted to bring this collection to help women to heal, to sleep well, to feel less anxious. We have all the things in the world going on. You think about what Black women just did with this election alone, not to mention all of the struggle and the work that we have to do every single day to keep our families and our jobs and everything intact. And we're all things to all people. So how do we create a collection that centers women of color? And so that's what Brown Girl Jane does. And we have a community. So it's not just about the product. It's about connection. It's about tribe. It's about understanding and being vulnerable and listening, and also providing the space for us not to be okay. Because that's the other thing. When you talk about the idea of breathe again, so many of us are still gasping for air. So we can't breathe, right? We're struggling in the moment. And so to provide a space for women of color and Black women to come together and say, look, here's what I need. And so that's who Brown Girl Jane is.
I love that. Guys, we're talking to Tai Beauchamp. This is Breathe Again. And we just talked about Brown Girl Jane and CBD that does not get you high. Just
exactly. It's safe. It is safe. It is safe.
Guys, I want you to, I'm a man, but I know the women will probably have better questions than I do that are on our thread. So I want to invite you to ask questions. Oh, someone just asked, Courtney, where can I purchase the product Brown Girl Jane?
So Courtney Patterson, you can go to browngirljane.com and make your purchase. We also are sold at Nordstrom as well. So some of our products are sold at Nordstrom and some of our products are sold at Birchbox, but go to browngirljane.com. And also we're very focused on education because we recognize that there's a lot that we don't know about the plant. So you can go on and read about all of the benefits. I mean, it's anti-inflammatory. So we have a glow facial serum that's great for acne, for psoriasis, for eczema. If you're, struggling with anxiety, like I take my balanced tincture every single morning. If you're having difficulty sleeping, our rest tincture is more potent and powerful than melatonin, but it's all natural. So this is all clean, green, highly efficacious, US sourced, highest quality of products for us.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, so let me ask you this, because you mentioned this before. You said you were, and I read this in the introduction, that you were a beauty editor. Talk about that. Like, how did you get into that?
So I was really, really fortunate, Brian. I mean, I could tell you all the things and all the ways that God has really just covered my life really from the beginning, quite honestly. because it's a journey. I mean, but I am deeply humbled and grateful by just about so many of the experiences I had. I went to Spelman College. I went to Spelman College on a full scholarship, actually, that I was awarded literally on the high school graduation day because an angel showed up and blessed my life.
Yeah.
Um, and while I was at Spelman, I loved writing. I loved fashion. I had some experience modeling when I was in high school. And my mentor said to me, why don't you combine the two? And a little, Black girl growing up outside of Newark, New Jersey, I didn't realize that really being an editor was a thing. Obviously, I loved magazines, but I didn't know that that was a thing. And so I started interning while I was in college. And as I was graduating college, Spelman in 2000, they were launching the Oprah magazine. So that was my first job out of college. And I helped launch magazine in 2000.
Your first job was working for Oprah.
Listen, when I tell you the angels have descended and have just been there, planted.
I love what you said too about how that you don't even know sometimes that that's a job. There's a job for something until somebody lets you know, yeah, you could study that, you could do that. It speaks to the need to expose people to as much as possible so they make choices, that are conducive to where they're headed. So you take this job as a beauty editor, and then now you're pivoting to what you're doing now. Like, take us on that journey.
that journey. Oh, the journey. I listen. There have been plenty of times that I have lost my breath. I've exhaled. I've inhaled to breathe again, Brian. That's what has happened, and that's personally, that's professionally, that's spiritually, that's psychologically, that's emotionally, that's all the things, relationally. But I was really fortunate. I rose through the ranks really quickly in magazine publishing, becoming the beauty director at 17 magazine when I was 25. First African-American, youngest in history when I was 25. Then I went on to become the editor of Vibe Vixen, which is actually when I met Tasha. And I burnt out, quite frankly. And so then I moved into philanthropy. I started consulting with my mentor's family foundation. Loved that work, learned a lot about business, started my company, started consulting with brands. That led to my TV career, consulting with brands, because I became a spokesperson for My Black is Beautiful and Procter & Gamble. But I was also helping to design narratives for these brands. And so I've been on this entrepreneurial journey for 15 years, 15 long, long years, long, but amazing years, like learning a lot. And so, I've always had a knack for business. I was always interested in it. And then Brown Girl Jane, my co-founders, my Spelman sisters, had started working on the brand. And another Spelman sister, Bridget, reconnected us and said, you guys should talk. I think there are synergies, because I was actually looking for partnership in business. I've been a solopreneur for so long that I said to myself, in order for me to take things to the next level. And that's the other thing, like, sometimes we're in our zone and we're moving and, what have you, and you're trying to figure out how to level up or breathe again or get to that next place. And it's important to pause for a minute, but also recognize that you can't and shouldn't do it alone.
Right.
And so, yeah, my partners and I got together and we started crafting this collection. But it's been a lot of pivots, from hosting television, which I still enjoy doing and love doing. And, fortunate to be able to do that simultaneously. But for me, it was getting clear, and even clearer than I ever had been, about what my purpose is. And so being clear that my purpose is to inspire and empower and enlighten women. I don't care how I do that. But Brown Girl Jane is the way and the opportunity for me to do that.
I love that, because purpose will keep you wherever you go, and then God will set the plan for you. And God already has a plan. He knowed you in your mother's womb where you headed. You just got
Amen.
to. Let me, because you said something. How did you know you had burnt out? Like, what did burning out look like? Are you comfortable speaking about that?
Oh, listen, I told you I'm an open book. I'll speak about whatever. Anything you ask, I'll answer. Burnout for me, I've had burnout 2 times, I think. I actually just got over burnout. Burnout is what led me to Brown Girl Jane. But, there are different types of burnouts. And I think especially for, women who do it all, right? There's the burnout when you know that you're not fulfilled. something inside is like, this is not aligned. I'm not getting out of this what I desire out of it, but I'm also not able to put into it. And that's how I felt the first time that I burned out. I felt in another burnout situation. I felt just misaligned. And I think that that's what we're all striving for, is alignment. And for me, that alignment first starts with God. And so being aligned with God so that I can walk in that power. But that first time I burnt out, I I really just didn't know what was next. And I had no energy to even try and seek what was next, to be honest. It felt like everything was wrong, nothing was going to be right. Um, and that's when I realized I had to pause and be still, and really be thoughtful about what I'm called to do, because I also believe that your purpose pulls you as well. It's not you don't just have to lean into your purpose pulls you, it's calling you. And I believe that, that's how God speaks to me. So that's how directionally where you need to be aligned. It's your gut and your intuition, and God speaks to you and says, like, this is not the direction you need to be going in. Be still and know. And now let me pull you where you're meant to be.
Yeah. We talking to Tai Beauchamp, and she clearly likes the new record still. She keeps going back to it. We should appreciate it. Thank you for that. And thank y'all for tuning in. If you have any questions for Ty, I would love for you to take over and ask her questions so we can take advantage of her life's work. And that is empowering Black women and making sure that they see themselves as beautiful as possible. Am I put
Absolutely.
words out? And then
Absolutely.
presenting that way as well, right?
Absolutely. I think it's really about how do really you connect with your highest self, because as you said earlier, we're all called to do something great and dynamic here on this earth. And if we're not connected to that, then how can we actually live it and be it? You know? And so yeah, absolutely. And at Brown Girl Jane, our focus is how do we help women live their most fulfilled lives?
So did you see Frida's question here? That's a great question. Did you
Yeah,
have to help you?
yeah, I had mentioned, I think that other thing that is sometimes hard for us as Black women and just people of color, is sometimes difficult to ask for help, right? And say what you don't know. And to also express the vulnerability of the place that you're in. And I'll give you an example. Literally right before I got on this live, I got a
It's funny because I saw it freezing, and then she was still talking, and then it slowly just froze to she's not there. And she's probably mortified that this is the third time it's happened. Little does she know that it's not the first time it's happened with us. So I am good. And I'm checking my phone as she texts us in to say that she's sorry and she's trying to come back in. So we're going to wait for her. Come on back in. It's been cool. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you like to do something with your time while oh, there she is right there. I was going to give you an assignment to
I
download
love
while we waited on her to come back, but she's back now. So what
I
we were
love
talking,
I
go ahead.
Someone asked, Frida asked, do you have a mentor to help with your burnout? And I was just saying that, like, from a vulnerability standpoint, we have to be able to speak about our vulnerability. And I was sharing that literally before I came on. I got a DM from someone who I don't know, but who follows, and was just sharing, because I had talked about the burnout that I experienced a couple years ago, and she was like, I would have never known that you were going through that during this time, because I'm hiking and playing awesome God, and still kind of bringing all of the energy. And I said to her, she wrote a lot about her story, and I said to her, I said, listen, what's your email and your telephone number? So I do believe that mentors are key, but any tribe member, any person that you trust who's going to hold you, not only hold you in the sense of cradling you and supporting you, but also who's going to hold you accountable. Because when you're going through burnout, obviously you need a moment to step back, but then you got to develop some resolve and some energy. We talk constantly about, faith faith is everything, but your deeds and your actions have to work in alignment with what God has for you.
Right.
So then you have to be held accountable also to have that moment, but then to breathe again and come forward, and take all the action that you can.
So, okay, now that you mentioned that, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, just so funny because now my speaker over here is acting weird.
It's sorry, we're here, Brian.
Let's see if that works better. And then I'm gonna plug this in.
So Doreen said something.
You just gotta make it
Thank you,
work.
Frida. Thank you, Nellie. I'm just looking at the comments and catching up.
Yes. Yeah, they love you, man. They would people would, do you hear that echo? Do you hear that?
I, I do, but look, listen, we're gonna overcome these challenges and obstacles. We still here. We still here.
Yes.
Worth fighting for. That's right, Doreen. Thank you. Exactly.
This should not be what's happening.
But I can hear you fine. I think you might hear a little echo, but you sound fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, actually, no, actually, there's a delay in the echo now, but that's okay. I can hear you fine. I can roll with it.
How is that?
Okay, that was it. Okay, now you're good. You're good.
On your end.
You're good. You're good now.
Over here, but I'm gonna keep going.
I'm not good?
No, it's me.
Okay.
It's me. Okay, let me ask you this. I see that you working out a lot. That's one of the things I've really kind of struggled with since this quarantine, because you're trying to get to the gym. The routines have just been upset. I was doing good at first, and then
Okay.
things changed.
Right.
I
Okay.
have
We
been
can get
able
you
to
back
keep.
in there.
Yeah, I mean, I started yesterday. I started this on again, the hotel gym. Although it was a bit awkward because it was like another guy in there, and we were both in there like trying not to breathe on each other. But uh,
Exactly.
what what have you been doing to discipline yourself? What advice would you give to people that want to, like, man, I want to find a way to just keep in shape and do the right thing during these uncertain times?
The first thing I'm going to tell you, Brian, the first thing is to start. So many of us feel so crippled by whatever our past behaviors were, or whatever our norm is, that we are afraid to start, right? And so we become handicapped where we are. The first thing is just to start. Say that I'm going to start today. If you can, do it with a partner, have an accountability partner, someone, who's also ready to make that change. And then set, short-term goals. Have your long-term goal, but set short-term goals. So if it's like, okay, I want to lose this, or I want to look this way, or I want to fit into these jeans, set short-term but realistic goals. And, I don't know about you, but I think for a lot of people, especially for me, because the endorphins, helped me feel great. When I was working out like crazy in LA, listening to Awesome God hiking, I was doing that because I was trying to get my mind back. I was literally trying to get my mind back, my peace. And so now when I don't work out, I don't feel at peace. I don't feel centered. And everyone's not going to train every single day. So set goals that are realistic for you, but be committed, develop an accountability partner, and little by little. It doesn't have to be being in the gym for 2 hours, even though I love it. But that's a luxury, so all of us can't necessarily do that. So I just say start small, start going outside right now during quarantine and COVID. The best thing for me has been taking walks, taking runs, step outside and set realistic goals.
Hmm. So does that mean getting a trainer though? When you say accountability, what does that mean to you?
So I like working with the trainer, but everyone can't necessarily be in that position. And I think during quarantine, it's a little bit more difficult. But the beautiful thing about now is that you can train virtually, and people are offering training sessions for, reasonable prices. But if not a trainer, you can find an amazing workout program online. My trainer is Mark Jenkins And he has an amazing program online. He used to train Mary and Puffy and D'Angelo and all these people. He's dynamic. But get an accountability partner, as in your husband, your wife, your best friend, somebody who's like, Brian, I want to see you reach that goal too, the same way I want to reach that goal.
That's important.
And do it together. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're talking to Tai Beauchamp, and we're talking about wellness and brown girl Jane and working out. And now I want to talk about sleep patterns because when you mentioned that that was something that was your focus, I've actually been struggling with that of late.
Oh, wow.
Just like staying up till 3 in the morning sometimes for any given reason. It could be stress or just sometimes I just feel I'm not sleepy. And
Yeah.
some of it is caffeine or and actually the eating late might be why the weight is coming on. But
I love how you're having these epiphanies as you say it. You like, man, what's really going on is this. Like, you're saying all this and you're like, yeah, because of
that
this.
might be what it
That
is.
might be. So here's the thing. So stress will absolutely do it. Eating past like 8 o'clock at night. I'm not really strict right now, and I'm not nearly as fit as I'm gonna be by January 1. And that's the other thing. Don't wait till the new year to start. Like all this, like everything has to start in the new year. Start now. Do the small things now, to keep that routine going. But sleeping is critical to actually not only maintaining kind of sanity and peace of mind, it's essential for maintaining overall health and wellness. If you don't sleep, that's why we created the sleep tincture. Because if you don't sleep, you're not going to function well in the morning. You are going to put on the weight. Your metabolism slows. All of those things impact. You're going to feel more stressed because it impacts everything in your body. So I have to get you the tincture. I have to get you the sleep tincture, because obviously,
CBD.
while we're that's the CBD that won't
Okay.
get you high, Brian. I promise you. Like they're, I promise you. Promise 1,000%. You're like, don't send that. No, I,
Okay.
I promise. But let me just tell you, our sleep tincture. I've had people that say that they couldn't sleep more than 4 hours, and they get a solid 6.5, 7 hours of rest with it. And the beautiful thing is that you don't wake up feeling groggy. So when you take like, Tylenol PM or melatonin, sometimes you might have a little bit of a restless sleep. It's all natural. This is all natural, and no THC, so no high at
Okay, so it
all.
makes you high as the THC.
Exactly. The
Okay.
THC makes you high. The CBD doesn't make you high. So it's good for muscle aches, all of that stuff. Anything that's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-inflammatory.
That's what's up. Y'all, we talking to Tai Beauchamp. They have a sleep tincture that I need to get a hold of so I can go to sleep
So
and then
wait, let me
wake
ask
up
you.
and work
Let me
out.
and work out and not eat so late. And how
Yeah.
much caffeine are you drinking? Actually, how much caffeine are you drinking?
Maybe a cup in the morning. I said maybe. It was really, yes, a cup in the morning.
That's not bad. That's okay. You're not drinking caffeine like late at night, though, are you?
No, I don't do that. It- And I don't think it's just the caffeine as far as the sleep. It's probably everything else that's going on too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just
the
a lot
stress.
going on, you know? And that's outside and then you still have your inside life. You're trying to keep your career moving forward. You're trying to
Yeah,
be creative. You're trying to get the
yeah.
sound right on your Breathe Again talk show. you know, it's just a lot happening. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a lot going
So
on.
there's a lot going on. So and I know I'm not the only one. Like everybody's. In fact, I hear this a lot. A lot of people feel more busy now since
Mm.
this has happened. Since they've been quarantining and social distancing and finding themselves at the house. Speak
Oh, well,
to
because people are more busy because you have people who are homeschooling while trying to work,
yes,
while being in the house, and it's a stressful time. Also concerned about your family members and your own health. So, we're definitely a lot more on, I think. But that's why I say you have to develop a practice. So working out for me is not only a way for me to feel sane and present, but it's also my worship. That's why I work out with gospel music, to be honest,
Right.
because I say that all the time. My workout is my worship. That's my opportunity to commune with God and feel God's presence, and to be active in my body, and in the spirit at the same time. So I think for us, it's just really important that even with all the things going on, Brian, that you, as a man, also set aside real time for you. We know you have all the things. You have a beautiful family. You're pushing
Thank
with
you.
creativity. I see your wife and your son. You have a beautiful family. Um, and I know it takes a lot, but we have to learn to prioritize moments for ourselves in order to be able to focus and do all those other things well.
Thank you for saying that. And yes, I absolutely agree with that. Y'all, we talking Tai Beauchamp, who has been extremely gracious with this evening. I'm so happy that you came on, and it's easy to see why so many people love you and lean into what you have to say. Uh, you wanted to talk about wholeness too, and I was curious
Yeah,
to know what that meant for you.
absolutely. So what I like to say, and what we say at Brown Girl Jane, wellness as an industry, wasn't one that was set up for Black women, quite frankly. 15 years ago, when the yoga craze started, we weren't like, okay, we're going to yoga.
Right, right, right,
Um,
right,
you know, as you shared earlier, we have all the other things that we're thinking about. We're thinking about our families. Oftentimes, you may have been working and going to school and taking care of your family. So we like to say that wholeness is to wellness what womanism or womanist is to feminist. You have to take into account all the things um, that the levels that exist, for us as Black women, in seeking being well. So it's your mental health, it's your physical health, it's your communal health, it's your emotional health, it's your spiritual health, as well as your physical health. And so what we say at Brown Girl Jane is we want to provide the solutions and the community and the avenues for all of us to be able to focus on feeling whole and not just being well.
I
I
mean,
think it's a t-shirt too. Yeah.
yeah, my friend Stan Jones just said, "Hey man, you got to get put that on the T-shirt. That is
Yeah.
pretty sweet."
Thank you.
You know, I was, you know what I've been thinking about, and you helped me with this. Sometimes I feel like Black men are not considered part of the same team as Black women.
Mm, mm. Let's
Like,
talk about that.
I was thinking about the election and how everything kind of went down, where like 90% of the women voted, Black women voted for our president elect.
Biden. Yeah.
86% of the Black men did it, but it still was seen as like the Black men really didn't come through. You know, and
Mm.
I might be making that up, but since you've been in that media space, that's the way it came to me.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel like Black women feel like we're on their team?
I must tell you, as someone who has wonderful Black men in my life, I feel super fortunate to say that I do. But I do think that there has been a chasm within our community for, unfortunately, centuries that predates anything that any of us did. I mean, it's in the historical context and the chasms that exist because of what slavery did to us and enslavement did to Black people and to our Black families. We have to overcome a lot of historical and cultural and social kind of, establishments that have been there for centuries. With that being said, um, I do think part of the opportunity right now, and let's speak, um, you know, not about challenges, but the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
is for us to really come together in a way that is going to impact the Black family and the Black community as a whole. I will say, and I speak for myself when I say this, I was raised by, two Black women for the most part. I grew up with my mom, my grandmother Mary, who everyone who knows me sees and has heard about. I also grew up with my father's parents, so who passed younger. So I was raised by Black women. Um, and they're who nurtured and taught me and who instilled the values in me. I also went to an all women's high school, an all girls high school, and then an all women's college. So for me, what has shaped kind of like my philosophies and my love of women and my love of Black women and just my love of women as a whole has been I have seen the power and the strength of what happens when women come together to support and elevate each other. That is not to dismiss at all Black men, because quite frankly, the only way that we're going to continue to grow and evolve purposefully, powerfully, um, and intentionally as a community is by locking arms. We have to lock arms. There's a lot of work to be done, but what we need, Brian, are dynamic, positive, strong, clear-minded, clear-headed, spirited men like yourself at the forefront, educating, supporting, and building, other Black men, so that way we can come together like this. I mean, this is beautiful in and of itself. Here we are, we have a friendship that is more virtual than it is live, but a man and a woman coming together to have a conversation about things. And so I think if we do more of that, we'll start to see a lot more alignment and connection and connectivity as well.
That is beautiful. I love that you said that. Uh, Especially about the locking arms. Like I think that's very important, and it's gratifying to hear someone on the forefront of gathering the women
Yeah.
wanting to do that.
Yeah.
I think
I,
that's a beautiful thing.
what's interesting is, and a guy that I used to date called me out on this because I'm so pro woman. Like, I mean, as you know, I'm like, so be a dynamic woman. And he said, and I have platonic male friends, that are, he said, but you don't shout them out as much. And I said, I have to do better in that, because the only way that we're going to see the progress is by all of us being connected. So I appreciate that. And there is room. We need you. And I celebrate and support Black men. So don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Don't
That's
go
that.
anywhere.
That is kind of you to say. We're talking to Tai Beauchamp, encouraging Black men not to go anywhere tonight. I
Don't go
believe
anywhere.
everybody heard.
Stay here.
Tai, we're coming to a close of our show, and I wanted to make sure you got off your heart everything you wanted to say tonight. Was there anything else you needed to say or should say, or anything I should have asked you?
Hmm. No, Brian, I'm grateful for who you are in the world. I'm thankful for this opportunity. Lovely to connect with all of your dynamic, your team, your crew, your tribe, as we call them at Brown Girl Jane. And I want to see you just continue to shine. So let me know what else I can do to support. I know I'm going to have you on my IG live, so that way we can have a conversation, perhaps even building on this.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to the music. Sharing the music means a great deal. That already helps keep my family and I lifted. Pray
Amen.
for my waistline. I'm gonna go ahead and get up on that tonight, I think. I'm gonna start.
Okay, you start.
18 steps to the door tonight. I
you
see it
st-
in my future. It's
you
going down.
you start tonight, and I got to get you some sleep, because I don't like hearing that you can't sleep. So everyone, check
Oh,
out
that's
Brown Girl
real.
Jane. I mean, sleep is essential. It
That's
is.
real.
It is everything. So we'll connect with JoJo, so that way we can make sure that you get some sleep. Everyone, check out Brown Girl Jane. I'm deeply honored and grateful. And you touched my heart, like the even though my internet wasn't agreeing. When I heard you start singing "Awesome God," I was like over here, like trying to make sure my mascara didn't go anywhere. I was like, "Pull it together, girl.
That's
Get
what
it
that's what we
together.
want.
Get
We
it
want to bust
together."
up mascara all around the world.
Love it.
So that's what's up. Hey man, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Breathe Again. Y'all say what's up again to Ty. Thank her for coming in. Did we put
Thank
her
you.
IG up so we could follow her there? Jojo? There it is.
Ty
Yeah.
Bo. JoJo is over here
Tybo.
producing. I love it.
Man, JoJo is on it. She an all-star out here. I'm trying to tell you. And she just got a new dog, Napoleon. Shout out to Napoleon. I'm so surprised we haven't seen a picture of Napoleon on tonight's show yet.
Thank
feel
you,
like if I wait
JoJo.
about 30 seconds, I will see a picture of the
Look,
poem.
thank you, JoJo.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
Tiana.
I guess that's a no on JoJo, on Napoleon coming. All right. Hey, thank y'all, man. Love y'all. Love you, Ty.
Love and
Thank you so
blessings. Love
much.
you
All
too,
right.
Brian. Thanks so much,
All
babe.
right. Be easy.
Your love for me. It's true. I believe you when you say you'll be loving me. Oh,